Alrighty, boys. Good morning. Good morning. It is Thursday, March 26th. Today I'm going to be talking about how I went break even on a trade. Today was definitely not the best trading day. I just want to say that right off the start. I'm definitely learning a lot from today, and it's definitely not one of my proudest moments. But I think the overall backbones that I have coming into the day and everything like that was great. I think what I can improve on is overall having more patience within the market and knowing that it is much better to just miss a trade than to force a trade that I shouldn't be taking. And I feel like I need to just completely detach myself from the P&L because not even necessarily like money like driven, but I think it's just that like psychology link between like a number value and success, and that's not really what you should be basing your weekly off of. You need to be basing your weekly, or at least me, I need to be basing my weekly performance off of, did I take high probability trades? Did I follow my rules? And overall, was I like patient within the market? Did I, have good thought processes and good market analysis going through the market? And I'd say overall, throughout this whole week, I've had pretty good market analysis. I've been very patient. I didn't take any trades yesterday, and we did move a decent amount. I just was not able to find an entry, and I'm completely okay with that. And I think that's exactly what I should have done. Could I have definitely done that today? For sure, and I'll get into that. But overall, yeah, today could have been a better day. But that is exactly what you learn from, and there's a reason why everything happens. I'm a firm believer of that, and I'm completely okay with it. And it's and I mean today still was a break even day, you know what I mean? Pretty much break even. I'll get more into that. But yeah, just definitely things I can improve on, and that's good. Coming into the 4 hour, we had swept out these lows on NASDAQ, but not on ES. So I was thinking, okay, possible SMT. If I'm gonna be honest, SMTs never seem to play out when they're higher time frames. So you need to see, like, obviously, well, what we got, confirmation. Obviously, this candle had not completely formed, but when you have an SMT like this, you need to see an actual move away from it for it to actually be relevant, in my opinion. And that's kind of what I was looking for, I guess. But yeah, coming into market open, obviously, I don't want any lows because there are none. And really, kind of the only thing that I was seeing is, okay, we have London highs and this hourly gap stacked up. That's very decent draw, honestly. And I think that's not even, I wouldn't want to say where I went wrong, but making it like a really good draw, because then if I didn't get an entry to it, I feel like then I I was missing something, you know what I mean? And I think that's not, you don't want to think about it. But overall pretty good draw in my opinion. Um and This was kind of going to be, I felt like this was a reasonable area to have my like confirmation high to be at. So, basically we confirm past this high by pushing above it. There's a pretty decent probability that we're going to come up and fill in this trade. And as you can see, we didn't. But yeah, today was all over the place. But overall, it's a good day. But yeah, so we can see that there really is not much to the upside except this high and then this hourly gap in this high. I mean, even all the way up here, there's Asia highs, but obviously I'm not going to worry about those if we haven't even touched these. So, yeah. Let's look at the 15 minute. 15 minute, basically, coming into this, I was wanting to see, close above these highs, strong close above these highs, and then maybe a retracement, and then up into these was what I was going to trade. And overall, this was looking pretty good. And this is before market open. Looking at it, this is looking pretty good. Overall, I wanted to see this 15-minute gap get inversed, because that would just also confirm my bias a little bit more. I don't know if it did or not. I mean, obviously it did here, but if it did, I don't know. I'll have to look at the 5 minute. But yeah, overall there just didn't look like a whole lot in between here and here, so that was good. That's just saying, okay, this is really gonna be the only thing that's gonna stop us from taking out these highs. So coming into the 5 minute, pretty much the same deal. We had a little SMT down here. Honestly, like, don't care much about that. I really just want to see price action up to confirm the higher time frame SMT. Also, I was kind of thinking off of market open, and it did end up playing out. Is I wanted to see a little bit of a retracement because we were not overextended on the 5 minute, but we'd only printed pretty much bullish candles, and then we had slowed down a little bit right before market open. So kind of wanted to see us just have a little break and go down. That's exactly what we did. So from there, I was kind of just chilling on the 5 minute and 1 minute, pretty much just waiting for this to get pushed past strongly, and then I just wanted to see a trade that I could take up to here. And yeah, if we look at the 1 minute, I was kind of looking at both indexes. I didn't really care what Nasdaq was doing because ES was the leading index to the upside. But basically, yeah, we right off market open, we chopped down to here. That's a good sign. That's showing that this is a retracement since we're chopping in it. And then from there, we end up getting some pretty strong candles up. We end up getting up to this right here. We get a little bit of a retracement. In my opinion, now back looking at this, again, I was not patient when taking this trade. I feel like what I was thinking and what was going through my mind was I can't miss this trade because I pretty much know where it's going to go. First of all, you don't know where anything's going to go. You are not the market. That's not how stuff works. So, yes, definitely something I can improve on psychology there. Don't think you know what's going to happen. We could very well literally fully reverse and go down and just fill in that gap more. You know what I mean? You don't know what's going to happen. Second of all, jeez, is that your phone?
I assume.
Oh. Anyways, since my roommate's throwing stuff around, no, you're good. This doesn't matter. Nobody watches these anyways. But yeah, basically from there, they're pretty much just for me. That's all. But yeah, so from there, my opinion is this a deep enough retracement for me to want to target these? No. Also, did we fully confirm this by this candle? No. Well, different things were going through my head. So when we got up to here, I saw this as, oh, retracement confirmation. And then I entered right here with stops here and targets here. This is not a good risk to reward. Again, definitely things I can improve on today, for sure. I think I was rushed into it. I was pushy. I was antsy to get into a trade, and that's exactly what I'm not supposed to be doing. You know, I was, antsy to get into a trade, and that's exactly what I don't want to do. I just need to make sure that I'm more patient. The entry that I should have had, and it still probably would have ended up in break even because today was just not the best day. I mean, I don't know why. Don't know why we chopped. I mean, pretty much just this whole last week we've been just nothing but chopping just because of news and stuff. But, you know, that happens. That's why you have to separate the probable days from the unprobable days. And in my opinion, other than looking at this looks like a pretty high probability setup. And what I should have done is waited for this, seen, okay, confirmation. Now I just need a retracement with a good entry. So we'll put this to here, and then I would say probably the safest stop loss that I could have had would have been at the bottom of this fair value gap. That's kind of the only thing that I was seeing. Otherwise, it would have been, this fair value gap this candle right here. There weren't a whole lot of lows for me to base it off of. And then 1 to 1 would have just been right there. And then we would have had to just market enter off of this right here. And I think I would have been okay with that because price was overall moving pretty fast. And this is really the only way that we could have gotten a good risk to reward. This would have been a much better trade than taking a trade up here, getting worried about it. And this is another thing is I ended up taking like a little loss today because I got in up here. For some reason, just acted on my emotions, got worried that we were now going to make a bigger retracement and come down here, and I exited out of my trade, and then I re-entered after this candle. So already just not the best, not what I should have been doing. And plus, this is a horrible risk to reward as well. So definitely things to improve on. I think the main thing is being patient and knowing that it's completely okay to miss a trade. It's much better to miss a trade than to force a trade that you shouldn't be taking. Overall, we ended up chopping around a ton, just wanting price to hit take profit. I ended up going break even about right here because I just kind of saw this range and I'm just like, there's no way I want to get reversed on from here after we already did this this movement down. And in my opinion, even that movement isn't really, that wouldn't have been a bad trade to take. I feel like this movement down, but overall I think this one would have been better. This is what you're going to catch more wins off of, in my opinion. It just simply did not play out, though, and that's just part of it. That happens. Overall, though, definitely things to learn from. Just making sure I'm not acting on my emotions, needing to detach from any P&L based numbers and stuff. Because overall, this has been a great week. I have had super solid psychology throughout the week. I've had super solid market analysis. Overall, I've definitely separated the high probability days from the low probability days. And in my opinion, looking at this day, other than seeing all this chop, this looks like a pretty high probability day. We have a strong draw up here, and that's pretty much what we were targeting. We have no reason to even go to the downside, really. And I would say on most days, this would completely fill out. But today just was not one of those days. And that is how stuff works. Probabilities play out. Stuff does not always go how you're going to want to have it go. And you just need to be patient. You usually always have time to enter and think about your decisions. You just cannot be rushed, and that's what I was today. I'm not even rushed. I just felt like I was, and I rushed into a position, rushed out of a position, and then rushed into a position. And overall, I just needed to be more patient within the market. I needed to wait for a deeper retracement, and simple as that. Things I can improve on. And I'm excited about that because that is going to allow me to build myself up, and it will allow me to become a better trader. But overall, today was still a pretty decent day. Just many things to learn from. And that's pretty much it.